Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching us how to cut this 6-panel dress. Yeah, I didn't line this one, but you could actually line it to have more stability. So I used the ankara fabric and crepe in making this. Now to make this dress, you need to draft your basic dress patterns, and I have mine here, both the front and the back. Okay, so because it has a collar, I did 3 by 3 for the neckline for the front, and then for the back I did 3 by 1. That's 3 inches for the neck width and 1 inch for the neck depth, right? Then on the chest line, I marked my bust measurement plus seam allowance. On the waistline, waist measurement plus seam allowance. Hip and hemline is quarter of hip plus seam allowance. Everything you do in your normal basic dress pattern, right? And this is the back. So first thing first, I'm going to take out the yoke. So for the yoke, I'll be doing 7 inch for the depth of my yoke. So from the shoulder tip there, I'm going to mark 7 inch. Just make sure it doesn't touch the chest line. That's the idea. So I'm just going to draw out a straight line. So this will be the style line for my yoke, right? So this is front yoke. So I'll just cut this out. Then after cutting out, I'm going to extend my bust span to the top part of the pattern. Now my bust span is 8 inch, so unfold will be 4. So I'll also mark 4 at the top here, and I'll extend the bust span line like so. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out. I'm going to separate this into 2 panels. So my dart stopped 1 inch before the hip line and 1 inch after the bust points, right? So I'll just cut now, center front, side front. I will separate this. Okay, so I'll have 2 pieces. Now mind you, center front is unfold. There's a side piece. When we are transferring into our fabric, we're going to be cutting out 2 pieces. So I'm just cutting out. Okay, so I'm done with the front. Now we'll repeat the same process for the back pattern, right? So for the back, first thing, I'm also going to take off the yoke, and I'll be using the same length I used for the front. So I think I used 7. Yeah, so I will just mark 7 inch. Yeah, so I'll just cut out the yoke for the back too. I'll be using the same length I used for the back front. So this is my back yoke. Okay, so same thing, I'll cut out the back yoke, and then I would extend my bust span line, just the same thing I did for the front. Okay, so I'll just extend this. Like so. Then I'll just cut out like I did for the front. Okay, it's a pretty simple tutorial. So if you don't know how to draft a basic dress, you can say that in the comment section. If I get a couple of requests, at least minimum of 100 requests, I could do a tutorial on how to draft a basic dress. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So I've cut out the back pattern. Now we are going to transform this into a 6-panel dress. We'll be transferring this to our fabric. Okay, so now for the fullness of the dress at the hemline, you need to work with your hip circumference measurements. You know, the dress has to the fullness has to align with your hip measurement. So what you do is, what I did was I multiplied my hip by 2. So hip by 2, that's 84, and then we're having 6 panels. So 84 divided by 6 will give me 14. So for each of the panels, the wideness is going to be 14. I hope that makes sense. And now for this particular dress, I'm trying to follow the pattern on the fabric so I had some wastages because I was trying to follow a particular pattern, right? So now we'll be cutting out the center front panel. This is my center front panel, so I'm going to pin it down. So like I was saying earlier, whatever your hip measurement is, multiply it by 2. Okay, so mine is 84, and then we're having 6 panels. The dress has 6 panels, so that means each panel is going to be 14 inches wide. Now this is my center front. Now don't forget that center front is on fold. Okay, so that means I'll be measuring 7 since the fabric is on fold, right? So I'll just pin this down to avoid my fabric from moving up and down. Then I found out that the length of the dress I drafted was a bit short, so I'll be adding like extra 2 inches with seam allowance inclusive to the length of this pattern. So I'm just spinning it down, okay? And like I said, center front is on fold. So instead of marking 14, I'm marking 7. By the time we open it up, it's going to be 14. I hope I made sense. So yeah, this is it. So I'm going to mark 7. Then for the center front, we're going to be cutting 2, but we're starting with the center front first. So this is, like I said, I want to follow a particular pattern on the fabric. That's why it's folded this way. Okay, so I would mark my 7 inches now. Okay, from the center front there. So I'll mark 7 inches. Then the dress is fitted from the shoulder, the bust down to the waist. Then anything on the waistline, it flares out. So that 7-inch mark I marked there, I will link it back to my waistline, right? So I'm just trying to arrange the fabric properly, and then I want to use my ruler. Don't use your hand, please. This is 21st century. Get the right pattern drafting tools. So I'm just checking my measurement again, and then I will rule. From that point, I'm going to roll it down to the waistline here. Okay, then when I want to cut out, all I'll just do is I'll just add ½ inch for joining allowance, which is seam allowance. Okay, so yeah, I'm linking that now. So I'm using my tailor's chalk. Okay, so now my panel is ready. I'll just add ½ inch to the top and then here all the way down. Okay, so I'll just cut out. Next, we're going to be cutting the side, one of the side panel. So this is my front here. Okay, now to cut the side panel, the sides are not on fold, so we're going to be folding our fabric in such a way that it will be 14. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm going to waste a lot of fabric because I'm trying to follow the pattern on this fabric, right? So for the side, I ought to place my pattern like this. This is my center back. Okay, sorry, that was a mistake. I want us to cut the center back. So center back and center front are the same thing. The only difference is that center back has zipper allowance 1. Then secondly, center back is not cut on fold. So I'll also measure 7. Okay, then I'll add extra 1 into that 7 because of the zipper allowance, making 8. You understand? And center back, you know, there are 2 pieces, but then you open it up, it will become 14. Meanwhile, the 1 inch is going for the zipper allowance, right? So I've already connected the hemline to the waistline as usual. Then I'm adding ½ inch seam allowance for joining. Okay, so center back and center front are cut the same way. The only difference is the zipper allowance, and center back is not on fold. That's the difference. Okay, so I'm just trimming off the excess there. Then we'll go to the cutting of the sides. So I'm just trimming off the excesses. Okay, I have zipper allowance already, so no point adding allowance again to the zipper part, right? So this is my center back. Now to cut the sides, okay, I want to use the pattern on the fabric, the middle part. So I'll fold my fabric into 2 like this. I want to get the midpoint. right? And then I've drawn a straight line in the middle of the pattern there. I mean the pattern on the fabric. I'm trying to follow this pattern. So I'll place my center front, my side back. Okay, this is my side back panel. Now from that middle there, I would measure 7 inch on both sides, making 14. Don't forget that the width of our panel is 14, right? The reason why we marked front 7 is because center front is on fold. Okay, so I'm marking 7 on both sides of the middle line. Then this side where I have zip allowance, I'll make it 8 because side seam allowance, I beg your pardon. So I'll make it 8 instead of 7. But this other side here, I'm marking 7. Okay, then on the other side, I'll be marking 7 plus 1. The 1 is to make up for the side seam allowance. Okay, then I'll just use my ruler to connect both lines to the waistline, like so, and I'll also connect the other side. So the only allowance I'm adding after these lines now is the ½ inch for joining the inseam. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I'll be cutting this out, and then I'll be cutting the side front. It's the same method. So center front and center back, I folded it into 2 and then cut 7. But for the side panels, you measure 7 on both sides, so that's like 14. I just hope somebody understood all that. So I'm just cutting out, and then now I finished cutting out. I have my center front, my side pieces, and the center back. So I'll open each of them one by one, and we'll start the sewing tutorial. So we'll be starting with the front pattern. So for the front, I've opened up my center front there, pattern here, and then I have my 2 side pieces. So I'll just go ahead and join them with ½ inch seam allowance. Okay, and yeah, I've joined the front piece. This is the front here. Okay, and I also went ahead to join the back pieces. So this is one side of the back, okay, and the other side of the back. I've joined them together. Now we are going to work on the yoke. So for the yoke, I'll be using a plain crepe material. I use white precisely, and I cut out fabric and lining. So I wanted to use ankara fabric initially, but I changed my mind, and I'm using a plain colored material, which is crepe. So this is the front yoke. This is the fabric and also the lining cut together. Then of course the back piece too. Like I said, the back piece is not on fold, the yoke. So I have 4 pieces of yoke here, 2 on both sides of the back of the dress. So now we need to cut out the collar. Now to cut out the collar, you need to make use of the front yoke. So from the neckline, you can measure the width of your collar. You can do as low as 2, as much as 3. So I'll be doing 2.5 inch. Just make sure it doesn't extend beyond the shoulder. Okay, so I'm just marking 2.5 inch round from the edge of, from the neckline. Yeah, I'm marking 2.5 inch round. Okay, so in order for me not to destroy my yoke pattern, I will place this under another pattern paper. Okay, and then I'll use my tracing wheel to trace it out, so that way my yoke is still very much intact. I don't have to destroy it. So I'm just tracing the it's called a Peter Pan collar. I'm tracing it out. So I'll just trim off the excess at the shoulder and on the neckline and the center front too. Okay, so I'm just trimming this off. Then I'll use my marker to trace out the traced part with my tracing wheel. I'm just tracing it out like so. Yeah, then if you like, you can curve in the collar a bit. If you don't want it to have this very rectangular look, just curve it in a bit, and then label this is the shoulder so that you don't misplace them when you want to sew them to the neckline. So I'm trimming off the excess here. Yeah, so you can still curve it in more if you want to, or you can just maintain the initial curve I did. Okay, yeah, it depends on, you can still curve it in more. Can you see what I'm, so you just curve it back to the center front, depends. So you just trim off the unwanted parts, going with the second curve. Okay, then I'll transfer this to my fabric. I'll cut 4 of this, add interfacing, and turn the lower parts. Okay, so this is my yoke, and I've already sewn my collar here. Okay, and then this is my yoke front, and then I'll place, you can see that I'm interfacing to my collar. So you have an option of turning the front neckline first and then turning the back neckline later and joining both at the shoulder, or you could just turn front and back together at the shoulder. Okay, so you can do this, so, or to make it more neater, you can join front and back yoke together at the shoulder. Okay, placing the collar in between the shoulder, and then when you're done, you now turn it with the lining. I will show us what I mean by now. So this is my front yoke, back yoke, shoulder to shoulder there, and this is fabric anyway. Yeah, like this. So I'll just go ahead and sew. Then I'll place the collar in between the shoulder there. Okay. Okay, now I forgot to put my collar, so I'll just go back and loosen the shoulder stitch and then fix the collar back. Yeah, so I have done that correction. Nobody's above mistake. Yeah, so now I'll go ahead and turn the neckline of my yoke with the lining. Okay, I'll turn it round. The next step will be to attach the yoke to the dress. Okay, so I'll be attaching front yoke to front dress or front part of the dress, and then back yoke to the back pieces. Right, so this is my back yoke here. I'll also be attaching the back pieces of the dress. It's a very easy tutorial, actually. It's not difficult, and if you like, you can line it. Actually, I just didn't want the dress to be heavy, so I didn't line it, but I'm using a very good quality African print, so it's still very okay. So yeah, my back piece, I'll just go ahead and join it. Okay, now that I've joined it, okay, I will now go ahead now and attach my sleeve. I have done that sleeve tutorial severally on this YouTube channel. Yeah, so I'm not showing us how to cut the sleeve again. I've done that. So I'll be joining the side seam. Okay, I will attach my sleeve. I will sew the center back and attach my zipper, and yeah, so I'm going to show the final outcome of the dress when I do that. So this is the final outcome. It's so lovely. Like, when I put it on, I'm going to post it for us to see. So if you learned anything meaningful from this tutorial, please hit the like button, share with your friends, leave a good comment, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.